Today, a new and exciting show that covers the world of athletics, from track and field to road running, cross-country, trail running and mountain running. In this edition of Athletics Today, the new qualification standards for the World Championships in 2015, we preview the NLC Tygerburg Summer Series meeting in Paro, and is the sub 2 hour marathon obtainable? All this on Athletics Today. France's Renaud Lavillenie and New Zealand's Valerie Adams were named the Male and Female World Athletes of the Year for 2014. It is the first time in the history of the awards that both field event athletes won the accolades for both female and male. Lavillenie, of course, the pole vaulter, and Valerie Adams, the shot putter. Lavillenie, at the age of 28, had a virtually perfect season, which included setting a pole vault world record of 6 meters, 0.16 meters in the Ukrainian city of Donetsk, eclipsing the 6:15 of Sergei Bubka. The Frenchman also won 21 of his 22 competitions in 2014, the series which included victories in the Diamond Race as well as the European Championships and the IAAF Continental Cup. Adams, who is now 30, may have thrown farther than previous season than she did in 2014, but the Olympic champion added a 9th senior global title to her collection when she successfully defended her world indoor crown in Sopot and triumphed at the Commonwealth Games. She was also the only athlete in the world to win all 7 IAAF Diamond League fixtures in any discipline, and was a clear winner of the women's shot put diamond race. Doha has won the right to host the 2019 IAAF World Championships. The IAAF Council announced this in the Fairmont Hotel in Monaco on Tuesday the 18th. Doha beat out Barcelona and Eugene of the USA for the right to host the 17th edition of the IAAF World Championships. The first round voting went as follows, with Doha getting 12 votes, Eugene 9, Barcelona 6, which meant Barcelona was eliminated. In the second round, Doha won 15 to 12. There's been a lot of speculation as to the conditions as well as also the human rights issues around the hosting of the World Championships, and also the timing, for example, of the middle and long distance and the marathon. Only time will tell whether this was a good call. Marathon being proposed to be run at night under lights. The IAAF has released the entry standards for the World Championships in Beijing in 2015. Qualification period for the 10,000 meter, the marathon, the racewalks, relays and combined events is from January 1st, 2014 to August 10, 2015. Remaining events qualifying window goes from 1 October 2014 to August 10, 2015. There are some very important differences to note when it comes to individual qualification. A great number of athletes have already met these criteria set down by the IAAF. As always, athletes will also need to meet the standards set by their track and field governing bodies before booking their trip to Beijing. The B standard is gone. Starting for 2015, there's a single qualification standards. Most of these fall between the A and B standards from Moscow 2013. Notably though, the men's 5,000 meters is 3 seconds slower than the previous B standard, while the women's 5,000 meters is 4 seconds faster than the previous B standard. The women's 1500 meter and high jump are very close to the 2013 A standard. The 1500 meter is 1 second slower and the high jump is 1 centimeter lower. Men's and women's marathon are both 1 minute slower than the previous standard. A new addition to the qualification criteria is that the mile will be recognized. The athletes will have a number of ways to qualify, and having represented your country at the area championships, becoming that champion, e.g. African champion, is an automatic qualifying standard for the World Championships. For the 10,000 meter, it's pretty straightforward. The top 15 athletes finishing in the senior men's and women's races at the IAAF World Cross Country Championships in Guyane 2015 will be considered as qualified. The top 3 in the 2014 men's and women's IAAF combined event challenge have also qualified, and the top 3 in the 2014 men's and women's IAAF Race Walking Cup will also have qualified. The top 10 finishers at the IAAF Gold Label Marathons held in the qualification period, which is 1 January 2014 to August 10, 2015, will also be deemed to have qualified. Countries may send 3, sometimes even 4 athletes with the inclusion of the IAAF Diamond League champion or the reigning world champion in the respective event. If a country has both, they can only designate one as a wild card. For example, Brianna Rollins won the world title in 2013, but Dawn Harper-Nelson won the 2014 Diamond League. The USA can only pick one of the two for the wild card spot. Every year in December, the country descends onto Cape Town for the summer holidays. No surprises then that a few of them are athletes and that they want to compete. As per tradition, the NLC Tygerburg Summer Series will once again take place at Para Athletics Club on the 13th of December. To see what's in store, Athletics Today paid meet director Marianne Meyer a visit.
The date will be on the 13th of December and will start at 10 o'clock in the morning. It will be the 16th time that this meeting has been held. We started off in 1999 with the first one and a very, very small sponsorship, but it has grown and we hope that this year it's going to be a nice big meeting again. We're putting on basically all the senior events. Some of them will be in the pre-program and some selected events will be on the main program and they will have prize money. But we will cater for the full spectrum of athletics and also for junior and primary school athletes in the morning and the afternoon. The venue will be the Para track, the nicest track in the Western Province with a following wind for the 100-meter guys. So I think it's one of the quickest tracks to run. There's a cost of entry of 20 Rand per athlete and 10 Rand for youngsters, primary school kids. And the guys that are under 6 will come in for free. Entries can be done on the website athleticsresults.co.za. Online entries can be done there and you can get the entry form also on the Western Province website. Closing date for entries will be on the 6th of December and we'll probably take later entries for a day or so after that. No entries on the day. We will not accept any entries on the day. I think there's enough things going around that people have enough time to enter, but we want to run the meeting smoothly and properly, so we won't have any entries on the day. The sprints will have heats for the senior athletes. They will have heats in the afternoon and in the finals late afternoon or evening on the final program. And we are also presenting non-standard events where the athletes who would like to qualify for the World Indoors can have a go. We will have 60 meters, 150 meters, 300 meters. So it's all sort of indoor events and also at this time training events for the South African guys if they don't want to take part in too serious a competition. I've had a lot of inquiries about the meeting and I think there will be quite a few athletes from our country coming down to be at the wonderful Cape beaches and have a holiday in Cape Town, but nearer to the time we'll know who is really interested in coming down. I'm quite sure of some of our World Championship athletes and Commonwealth Games athletes will be taking part.
When Dennis Kimetto broke the world marathon record in Berlin on the last Sunday in September, speculation was immediately doing the rounds as to when the first sub-2-hour marathon would occur. Kimetto's time of 2 hours, 2 minutes and 57 seconds was the first clocking below 2 hours and 3 minutes. It took a whopping 26 seconds off the previous record held by countryman and training partner Wilson Kipsang. Kipsang has clocked 2 hours, 3 minutes and 23 seconds on the very same course that Kimetto clocked the first sub-2 hour 3 minute marathon named Berlin. In fact, Berlin holds the distinction of being the venue of the last 6 world marathon records to be broken. A glance at how the record has improved since Paul Turgott was the first athlete to go under 2 hours and 5 minutes sees the times improve hugely with every attempt. So logic tells us the sub-2 hours are on the corner. Not so, says Lindsay Perry from HPC.
A 40-odd second improvement will obviously, as everyone's saying, it's 2 hours is around the corner. But I don't even think sub 202 is around. I think that in this particular race, they had so many perfect things going for them. The weather was absolute. The course can't be any flat. I mean, the only way you can get a flat route is if you go and run on your local track. And they had 3 to 4 guys that had decided beforehand that they were not there to race each other. They were there to break the world record, and the last man standing was going to win the race. So when you factor those 3 essentially perfect when they had the perfect temperature. The start of the race was 9 degrees and it crept up to 12 degrees by the finish. At 12 degrees, you've got the commentator saying it's just starting to get a little bit warm. So they had perfect temperature. They didn't have a breath of wind. And they had perfect pacemaking. The pacemakers did an absolutely amazing job. Now, if you go purely on a per average split, then the men went through halfway world record split. They went ahead of Wilson, of Kepketer's record from the year before, but they were still behind average minutes per kilometer. So they paced perfectly. They had 4 guys that were still in it. When the pacemakers dropped off and Mutai surged, they 3 went together and they went toe to toe until really the decisive break came for the end. And even then, Mutai did not give up. He pushed all the way. So we really had like everything perfect. And yes, they smashed the world record. And yes, it is now under 2:03. But I, for one, do not believe for a second that it's going to go under 2:02 for the next 10 years.
Well-known TV commentator and marathon expert Kieran Walker believes it's a long way to go before the sub-2-hour marathon will be on the cards.
Yeah, sub 2 hours in the marathon is going to be really hard. I'd like to see it in my lifetime, but somehow I don't see that happening. I mean, if you think about it, it's a sub 1 hour half marathon back to back, and with the world record being just over 58 minutes, it's really hard. Kimetto really astounded us with his 2:02:57, and to go 3 minutes faster than that, I don't see it happening in quite a long time from now.
In terms of the current world record, obviously it was a huge chunk taken out of Wilson Kipsang's record. Looking ahead now, what do you think is going to happen in terms of the world record? Are we going to have big chunks? Going to be chipped away? What's going to happen?
I think it'll be chipped away. Obviously, there's a lot of things that come into play with weather conditions. Everything that happened in Berlin was perfect conditions for Kimetto, but I really believe that someone like Kimetto can go as quick as 2:02 flat. I really see that Kimetto can do that, and there's other guys like Wilson Kipsang as well. And now Kenenisa Bekele, the 10,000 meter world record holder, is also up to the marathon distance. So I think within the next 3 years, 3 to 4 years, we'll see of course a world record of around 2:01 late, but going towards 2 hours, it's almost unhuman.
And Wilson Kipsang, what are his thoughts on the first sub-2-hour marathon?
Under 2 hours, if you try to see the splits and the running splits, it's not something which can really be achieved very easily. But the way you see that the time is coming down, the records are broken very frequently. You find that there's a possibility that in the near future, people might run 1:59, maybe 58. If all conditions are, sometimes it is luck to get a good shape, perfect weather, good strong athletes to compete together, strong pacemakers. It's sometimes luck. Some of these things, it's not easy. So I think, but it can happen. But for me, I think the possibility is that guys can only try to bring it down, the record. By the time it is 2:01, then we can now talk about the sub 2 hours.
Dennis Kimetto, the current world record holder, what are his thoughts on the sub-2-hour marathon?
I do hope really, and I feel it, that I can still break the record again, and I will try to do it, and it might be possible. I do hope to go under 2 hours.